Hi. Kirsty, you're about to fall off your chair. Check your messages, Kirsty. This is fucking insane. Like, you guys are going to leave this live and you're going to be so mad. Like, so fucking mad. Because I know that there are quite a few Ivy supporters on the page. Like, really mad. So anyway, welcome back to another podcast. I was actually going to do one on the other page with some of the other drama that's happening. Jessie, this is a big one. So I'm going to have to, like, upload it or something. You haven't missed anything yet. Everyone's joining. But, so, yeah, it's awful. I've just, like, let the admin know what we're about to chat about. And it's like, okay, so, it's about Ivy. So, as you guys know, like, Ivy has just lost Gray, and she lost her baby, Wylan, to a stillborn. And this was all while Atrayu was at home. So I know the other day people were like commenting saying, you know, why is Atrayu taking pictures of Ivy while she's like obviously going through this thing? And I just want to make it clear that the reason I know that he didn't take those pictures is because of what has been unfolding. So this has come from like someone that's like they're kind of they're friends with Ivy, and they've just like given me a bit of information about what's going on, and I feel like it's something that should be said because I feel like Atrayu needs to be held accountable for it. So let me just start by saying the reason why I knew Atrayu wasn't in that picture, that was actually Ivy's sister that took the picture of her when she was in the hospital. It wasn't Atrayu because Atrayu was not there for Wylan's birth. He wasn't there. He didn't come back for Wylan's birth, even though he knew that the baby had died. He did not come back to support his wife. So what happened was on January 1st, Atrayu went to his parents' house, so he took time off work or he finished up something with work. And he went to his parents' house to help them around the farm and stuff. He was not there for Wylan's birth. So, like, while we're all watching this go down and we're thinking, oh, my God, poor Ivy, poor Atrayu, Atrayu has fucking not been there for any of it. He's a... Okay. So, I know. I know. So... basically what happened was he went away to stay with his parents just for like extra money and stuff because they like, I don't know what they do for work, but obviously like he enjoys hunting, so he was going back there for hunting and helping them up with their work. I don't actually know what they do, but you know, it was like just a way to pick up extra money. Took holidays from the other job, I believe. I mean, I could have some of this stuff wrong, so I mean, this is obviously secondhand information, so I'm just gathering what I can. But, sorry, just replying to a message quickly. But so what happened was he went on the 1st of January, and I think originally he was supposed to like come back on weekends to like visit the family and stuff, because let's not forget that he knew Graylin was also going to be, I don't want to say rehome because that sounds terrible, but she was going to be going back to her, she was going to be going back to the tribe, okay? So he knew this was happening. Yep, your wife's having stillborn, you're not going to immediately. So I know, yep, there was quite a drive. Like, I get there was a drive, and, you know, obviously he was not probably going to make it back for the birth, but you'd think you'd at least try. Like, not even not to be back there, but, like, if you know you're not going to be there, like, you'd want to be there immediately after, as soon as you could possibly get there. I did think, where is he at? yeah, well, like, that's, I mean, like, we've seen no pictures of him, and when the other baby they lost was born, he left before Gray left, so that, to me, I thought that was a bit odd. I was like, oh, okay. And then he didn't come back when they handed Gray over or anything. Oh, okay, Lindsay. Yeah, I think there was, like, a whole lot of stuff in that message that you're probably going to have to catch up on. So, yeah, I know, very fishy, right? Anyway, so he was supposed to come back. He said he wasn't going to make it back for the birth, but he was going to try and make it back. But then he just decided he wasn't coming back, right? And, like, obviously you're going to assume... And even this is, like, selfish. Like, yeah, he's going to be going through grief. Like, he's just lost a baby. He lost Gray. You would think he'd come back to say goodbye to Gray, because Gray still had days at home. I just can't imagine letting your wife deal with all this shit on her own. Like, let's not forget, like, Ivy was extremely sick after her birth. Like, she had to have surgery and stuff. I don't know if she's, like, posted about this, but this is what I've heard, that she had to have surgery to stop the bleeding. Like, she was bleeding so badly that she went into surgery to stop the bleeding, and then she had to go in again. Like, it was insane. Like, absolutely insane. So she's, like, really sick. And, like, when I told my husband this, he was just like, what the fuck? Like, what sort of a fucking coward would let your wife deal with it on your own? Like, nobody wants to deal with what they're going through. I understand that. But you would never make your wife face that alone. I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't care what happened in the meantime. Like, I do not care. You drop everything and you go be with your wife and you make sure she's okay. Like, show some appreciation for the shit she's fucking done for you over the years. Like, she had a stillbirth before, and I'm sure she was grieving that like crazy. You know, she still does. And then she's got 2 adoptions that they did together that she is handling everything for. That, yeah, she was hemorrhaging. That's what I was told as well. Like, that's crazy. And, like, I get it. I think it's, like, 16 or 19 hours away, so I understand him going, all right, well, you know, I can't make it that far. I'm not going to be there by the time he's born, but I'll be there as soon as I can, baby. You know what I mean? I'll be there as soon as I can, like, to be there when she... Like, she shouldn't have to be, like, saying, oh, this is happening, that's happening. Like, I cannot even imagine. If my husband be straight in the fucking car, I'm so disgusted as well. But it gets worse. It gets worse. Now, obviously, I can't... This person doesn't want me to show screenshots. And, like, out of respect for, like, her and Ivy, obviously, I'm not going to do that. Like, if it was sent to me saying, no, post this, but it was, like, don't post screenshots. So I'm not going to post the screenshots. For obvious reasons. I am sure, though, that Ivy's going to address it at some point, because, I mean, this is obviously, if he's gone from the 1st of January and we're now in March, he's still not back, guys. He is still not home. So, they've lost a baby. Yeah. Definitely, absolutely cheating. Like, definitely. I'm going to, yeah, I will be posting it later. Yep. Cheated for sure. So, like, this is one of the things, okay? So, obviously, he went on the 1st. They've had... Graylin went on the 12th, I think. Did she go the 12th? I think it was the 12th. So, Wylan, I'm not actually sure the date that Wylan passed. I think it was maybe 5 days... Oh, maybe it was just over a week. So, Queen just... Oh, your name just went already. But basically, Atrayu is not with Ivy. Like, he is at his parents' house. He did not come back for the birth of their deceased baby. And he did not come back to... And you guys have to remember as well, like, Graylin was adopted as a baby. Like, as a baby. That's his baby. And he's just, like... Didn't come home to say goodbye to her? What? Really? Come on, man. Like, come on. You tell me, okay, if your wife, like, this is the thing, like, there was, he would, like, and this is the other thing, like, he was messaging, she would, like, Ivy would message him to tell him what's, like, going on, and he would ignore her for days, guys. Like, no text message back for hours, and then sometimes it was days. Like, there was a time there, someone said, where he actually... She didn't hear from him for 3 days. And he said, I left my phone... What happened? His phone went flat or something, and he'd left it somewhere. I'm sorry, but if I was away somewhere and my phone went flat, I would not leave my fucking phone flat for 3 days. 3 days. What the fuck? So let me just read some of these comments and we'll get to this. Where are we getting this info? So one of Ivy's friends and I are friends, and they've given me some of the info. I mean, this is not all of it either. Like, I'm sure there is a lot more to it. This is just the bits and pieces that I've been told. Let me just read some of these comments. Like, I cannot believe, and like, Ivy has done so much for him. It fucking shits me. I want to punch the fucker in the face. I always knew I disliked him. Ooh, I know. You know, when they first got married, I was like, like, I wasn't real sure about it. And then now I'm, you know, well, not now, but like a month ago, before I knew this stuff, I was like, oh, you know, perfect couple. Now I'm like, motherfucker, I want to kill him. Like, I want to kick him in the dick so fucking hard. Oh, I'm bullying, but good thing I took my blood pressure and heart meds. Yeah. So heartbroken for this, so unfair. I know. I cannot imagine how she must be feeling. And then him still not coming home. Like, he just refuses to go home. It was right before the baby and Wylan passed. It was right before a B-Day and Wylan passed right after. Yeah, well, I think, Gray went on the 12th, but Wylan had passed away just before. But see, Gray went for a few days, I think, and then she came back to stay for a couple of days, and then she went for good. And that would be so hard. Like, it's like she's grieving the loss of 3 people in her life. Like, she's got her newborn baby, she's got Gray, who she's raised for like 5 years of her life, and then her husband just disappears, you know? I know, let me find that piece of shit, right? Okay, let me just... Okay, so I've just been told he found out the baby died 2 days before she gave birth, so he definitely could have came home. That's fucked. So he could have been home for that birth and he did not come home. Like, I'm sorry, but if the second my wife heard those words, I'd be in that car and I'd be fucking driving. Like, there'd be no stops, there'd be no food breaks. I'd do a Preston and piss in a cup. Like, there is no way I would stop. I would just go the whole way to see my wife and make sure she's okay. And then, especially knowing she's like hemorrhaging and stuff after birth, would you not be there immediately? Fuck! Why am I am so mad about it. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just reading. He is just a fucking piece of shit. So, update follows joins Ivy's husband cheating and left to go visit family before Gray. Now, I have a feeling, like, I definitely think that something was going on beforehand. And, like, even originally when I had heard a bit of this and a bit of that, because I knew the other day that he wasn't back yet, and that's why I knew he didn't take that picture, okay? But I didn't know, obviously, this stuff. And obviously, like, that stuff wasn't submitted to me to, like, tell anyone, you know what I mean? Like, normally, I think most of you know by now, if you come to me and say, I just need someone to talk to, don't submit this, like, don't post it, I'm not going to post it. So it was, like, one of those scenarios. And now it's gotten to the point where Atrayu needs to fucking go down. I feel so sorry, but I know. And it's, like, okay, so there was a TikTok posted this morning here, maybe it's nighttime where you guys are, and she's so fucking pretty, and I just don't understand. Like, I know, like, obviously looks aren't everything, but she's genuine, and, you know, like, you guys might judge Ivy from, like, 10 years ago or, you know, 8 years ago, whatever, but, like, you can't sit there and say that she's done anything in, like, the last 5 years that has, like, hurt anybody, you know what I mean? Like, Sierra takes constant stabs at her, says shit all the time, like, you know, especially, like, with this shit with Atrayu, like, and, you know, she always just tries to, like, take that graceful, classy side out, and like, she deserves much more. Like, there would be so many men that would be like, fuck yeah, like, lining up to date her that would never do this to her, and then she'd end up with this fucking pig. And it's so sad. How can you even be in the headspace of that when you just lost a child? My guess is that this was going on before the baby died. That's the only thing I can... Either that or he is just a fucking psychopath. Like, he has... I don't know. But, like, yeah, your child's going. So, but even then, like, he knew Gray was going to be going. So why is he even talking to other women? You know what I mean? It doesn't matter if, like, he's in total grief and, like, shock and then he meets someone. Like, he knew. Yeah, he is scum. Someone said utter scum. My heart's breaking for her. That's why she made that TikTok. I'm guessing that's where the TikTok come from. Is there anything we can do for her, like a care package or dolls or something? My husband said the same thing. He's like, surely there's something that you guys can all do for her. I'm sure we could ask her if there's something. I mean, there's like quite a few people that follow this page that are friends with her, so we might ask her if there's anything we can do. What did I miss? Have you caught up yet, Lakin's mummy? Just let me know if not. Like, she hasn't been helped through hell. Grieving is one thing. Okay, so this is... I need to get through these comments, but I'll just read them quickly. Saying goodbye to a child she knows for 4 years. Ivy's husband hasn't been there and has been cheating. Yep. Isn't there a thing called abandonment for the kids? Not sure how long you have to dip out, though. I would look into it. That is definitely something she should look into. Left to go visit family before Gray and still hasn't come home. He's also cheating on her. Yeah. Right. Can you imagine having to deliver? That's the worst thing. Like, I know she probably wasn't by herself. Like, I know she has, like, family and stuff there, but that is not the same. You know, it's just not the same. Again, my friend's got permission to come home from deployment to be there for a stillbirth of his child. And this can't even fucking get in the car and drive. Is it confirmed he cheated? Yes. Well, we'll get to that. There's no excuse. Sorry, just hopped on. Are we talking about Ivy? Ivy and her husband, yeah. I absolutely adore her. She's definitely grown. Oh, yeah. Sierra can go and suck it. I mean, she's just... honestly just a disgusting person, so I'm sure she'll take great, you know, but at the end of the day she's with Preston, so joke's on you. I had to deliver a stillborn 22 weeks, cannot fathom my husband not being there. Oh, so sad. How is his family letting this happen? I've asked this same question, because you cannot tell me his family are not there and they don't know what's going on, but I feel like this is happening before then. So I did see a screenshot where Ivy had commented on this girl's page and was like talking about shoes and said that her husband had bought this person's child shoes. Like, we'll get to that, okay? Hold on, let me scroll back through the messages. There's a lot. Okay, all right. So... let's, like, rewind. So I think this was after the while and stuff and that. Sorry if you're lost. Like, we've come in a bit later. So what happened was, now I know these guys, they have, like, locations and stuff. I know a lot of partners have, like, locations and stuff on the phone. But there was, like, one night there where he went to a nightclub and apparently, like, he told his parents that he was staying at a friend's house, that he stayed at a friend's house. So he didn't come home this night, okay? And he told his parents that he stayed at a friend's house. And obviously, yeah, at a nightclub, after your baby has just passed away and your other child has been... what the fuck? All right. Anyway, so he went to this nightclub. He told his parents that he stayed the night at a friend's house, but Ivy could see his car, like, was parked out the front of the nightclub, because obviously they got the location on. I don't know. But she could... I don't know if she could see it was there all night or how... I don't know how the location things work, because we don't have that here. I think you can, like, share locations maybe, but it's not that, like, accurate. But, like, these ones are accurate. So, Josh Powell vibes from him now. I don't know what that is. I don't know who Josh Powell is. But basically, when you check the thing, it showed that his car had been out the front of the nightclub all night. Now, obviously, he knows that Ivy can see his thing. So he said that he slept in his car all night. Okay? So this is about Ivy and Atrayu. So he said that he'd slept in his car all night. He said he went to the nightclub. He got too drunk. He went to the nightclub by himself, guys. By himself. What married man goes to a nightclub by himself and gets so trashed that he has to sleep in his car? Ooh. So I'm just talking to a friend, and a friend's like, no, he left his phone home. Somebody's seen him out. So maybe that wasn't one of the location times. Sorry if I get my stories muddled. So I'm just talking to a friend so that I know I'm getting it right. But she said he left his phone home at his parents' and somebody's seen him out. So he told his parents that he stayed at a friend's house, and then he told Ivy that he got so drunk that that he drank too much, couldn't drive home, so he stayed in his car. But, okay, this is what man gets so drunk at a nightclub by himself? Like, I think back to when I used to go to nightclubs and stuff. I think, when you go by yourself, what do? Do you just go and get a drink and you just, like, walk around and, like, bump shoulders with people and be like, oh, hey, where you from? Like, how the fuck? How do you... Someone teach... Like, let me know. Have any of you guys gone to a nightclub on your own when you don't know anyone? When you're married... Exactly. Why would you leave your phone home? He obviously knows that she can see his location, so he's left his phone home. And let's just go back as well. When she gave birth, he didn't even check up on her at all. There was 4 days where he did not text her back. 4 fucking days where he didn't text her back. Didn't write a single response to her. Like, she was trying to let him know what was going on and stuff. Didn't even reply. Now, tell me, what person would do that? Like, I get it if you're having, like, a mental break or whatever and you're not coping and you don't want to come home because you don't want to face reality, but you think you'd be in contact. But either way, what fucking man does that? I understand, like, some little pissant little boy would do that, but not a fucking man. Like, a real man would come home, face whatever is happening, get through it and then work through it. But you make sure your wife is okay first. The fuck? 4 days, Jessica. Like, how fuck's that? But you know what? Yeah, but the thing was, like, obviously his parents, they can still, way worse than Jeff, I reckon. No real man would do that. But 4 days, like, your wife has just given birth to a stillborn baby and then hemorrhaged, had to go into surgery multiple times to stop the bleeding, like, could have died, and you're not going to text her back for 4 days? Atrayu, you're a fucking piece of shit. That's fucked. So fucked. But anyway, so he claims he stayed in his car all night, right? Someone apparently had seen him out. He claimed he stayed in his car. I don't know, like, what the fuck the deal was there, but obviously he had to explain why he wasn't there. And then he's not going to say to Ivy, well, I stayed at a friend's house, because if she was like, well, what friend? And then she checked, what would happen then? Like, what if they outed him? He's obviously not telling his friends what's going on either. Yeah, someone said, I'm surprised Ivy hasn't blasted him for this disgusting shit. I know. I'm sure it will come. Like, I'm sure it would be very hard for her not to. I think, I'm sure there's more to it as well. Like, I'm sure there's more to come. Maybe, I don't know. But, okay, so this is the other thing. Let me just go get an energy drink. I'll be back. 2 seconds. Damn it. My husband took the last mother, so not for me. How do his friends not know? She's been so open on social media. Well, see, I don't know, because if you look at his Facebook, he hasn't approved like anything on his, well, there's nothing on his timeline. Like, he hasn't showed he's been anywhere. If you look on Ivy's, she's done posts about the baby and she's tagged him, but they're not on his timeline. So obviously he hasn't accepted it on his timeline. Yeah, I think though, when she does come out and say it, people are probably going to come forward and be like, hey, just thought you should know, I seen this or I seen that. Like, how's he not going to get caught with the amount of followers that she has? Like, I'm in Australia and I would recognize the motherfucker. Like, if I see him at a club here, I'd be like, oi. Like, I would know who he was. And there's people like, and I'm in Australia, like, there's people everywhere that are going to see it. So anyways, let one of my friends come home and try pulling that shit. If I see that friend's partner's going through all that, I know. And that's what I think. I don't think his friends know. Like, surely they don't know. But maybe that's why he's going to a nightclub on his own. But I don't think he went to a nightclub on his own. I reckon they're probably gone out with friends and he's, like, talked to someone and then he's, like, meeting up with that person on the side, like, slyly. And he's probably met them and went, oh, you know, I can't, like, I'm married or whatever. And then he's probably gone, oh, you know, well, we're actually separating, and he's doing it on the sly. Like, because surely he's not taking people back to his mum's house. But get this right, guys. Get this. There is a girl, I won't say her name because it hasn't been blasted yet, and I don't want to do that yet. That's up to them. But there is a girl that, weirdly, I'm not actually sure how it worked out. I think maybe Ivy may have found a receipt or something, but he'd bought this random woman kids' shoes, right? Kids' shoes. This was like, yeah. The receipt was like in his emails, and he bought this random chick kids' shoes. And then this is a screenshot I have of the Facebook where she literally said, like, on the Facebook, she's like, does anyone know where to get these shoes, blah, blah, blah. And Ivy wrote under there saying, my husband bought your kid a pair, lol, or something. But this girl follows Ivy. And, like, I don't know how they know them. She's from Texas, I believe. I don't know about a secret family, but he's obviously been talking to her for a while. And he's obviously been deleting messages. But like 4 days where you don't reply. But okay, it gets worse. All right. You wait till you guys hear this one. Oh, I'm so mad. Like, internally, I'm burning. Like, this is why I gotta drink water. I'm like, fucking oh. Like, if I was there, honestly, like I always say, you know, I don't do things real life. If I was there, me and Kirsty, my home girl from here, we would be in the fucking car and we'd drive our asses however far. Like, she's in the UK, but, you know, we would be there. Like, if I had, like, unlimited funds, I'd be like, bitch, we're flying here. And we would hire a car and we would drive around until we found that cheating motherfucker and we would blast him. It would be like TWT paparazzi. Motherfucker. Yeah, sorry about that. Sorry, that's just like my Australian trucky mouth friend. But yeah, it gets worse. I'm sorry, I should stop saying that. So last week, I believe, she actually flew to see him. So this is the thing. He has said he wanted to move back to his family, okay? Now, that's not really possible because the oldest, you know how her dad is there, like, obviously, like, you know, that's a long way for her to travel to see her dad. She would have to have less time with him and stuff like that. So they never even looked into any of that at the time. But he was like, you know, I'm not coming back to South Dakota where they live. I want to live in Alabama. He's probably seeing Emily Nash. No, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't put it. He's a local, so who knows. Oh, I just said the C-bomb on YouTube. Oops. Is that why I supposed about thinking about moving to Indiana? Yes. So he has said he wanted them to move there, and it wasn't really possible But anyway, when all this stuff happened and she's obviously lost the baby, I'd say she's made some sort of arrangement with Aslan's dad, and he's obviously approved it because she was talking about moving there and stuff. Now, she told him that she was going to come and visit. She's going to fly there. And he was like, oh, that's probably not a good idea. Now, why would that not be a good idea? All those faces. Why would that not be a good idea? Like, it's your wife and you have kids with her. Like, you've got a baby and you don't want them. Okay, whatever. So anyway, she ended up flying there. This is such a fucking weak act. Like, it made... When I first heard this, I actually cried. Like, I actually cried because I was so sad for her. Like, I put myself in those shoes and I could not imagine. But anyway, so she flew there, and I think it's, like, quite a drive to pick her up. So he went and picked her up, and I don't know if they stayed at his parents' or if they got a motel or if that was afterwards. I'll get a text in a minute if they know and they can clarify it. But I don't know. But anyway, so she flew there. He picked him up. Everything's fine, right? Everything's fine. Even though, like, he'd been leaving his phone off for days at a time and all of this. I think this was only like a week ago. I know, I would have too. I'd be like, I'm going home now, and I'd be fucking like hiring a car and some binoculars. I'd be like, I'm ending this now. I need to know what's going on now, and then I could like move on. That's the hardest thing though, because we're talking about Ivy. That's the hardest thing though, because it's really hard until you get that actual physical proof, like you see it with your own eyes. It's hard because, you know, people, and like, let's not act like Atrayu doesn't have like a fair bit of charm about him. Like, he has that charm where he's a bit funny, like, you know what I mean? So I feel like he would be able to lie his way out of pretty much any situation. Yeah, I know. I would have done that, flown out. But she's got a baby. Like, could you imagine, like, stalking with a baby in the car? So we'll do a rerun in a second for the people that are joining. But anyway, he picked her up. They went back to wherever. I don't know if it was his house or the motel. I'm not sure. It was one or the other. He was, like, loving on them. You know, I miss you. I love you. Blah, blah, blah. And... Oh, wait on. I'll just ask a question. I'm just asking a question to see if I can... just getting approvals. So... Yeah, this is the other thing, right? Before they came, she was like... You know, I really miss you, or something like that. And, you know, because, like, it'd been a while, she's lost a baby, they haven't, like, been intimate in ages. And he was being weird about that. Like, they didn't want to be intimate because he didn't want it to, like, change things. And, like, I mean, you could take that as different ways. It could be like, I didn't want to change my mind coming back. But, like, who doesn't want to have sex with their wife? Doesn't make any sense with me. I don't know. But... Anyway, he picked her up. Everything was good. He was loving on her. They didn't sleep together. Like, he didn't even try, which is weird because I know, like, think of any of your husbands. If you have not been together in months, like, what's the first thing he'd want to do? Unless, obviously, he's getting it elsewhere. I don't know. What a fuckhole. Oh, it makes me mad. But anyway, this is what really upset me. So everything's all great. They talked about her moving. They're gonna you know, extend his house there or whatever. Like, this is what he's always wanted to do. He's always been, like, hassling her about this. No, she didn't take those pictures. I replied on that. Someone said I thought he took the pictures of her before she delivered her son. He didn't take those pictures, and that's why I replied on that sub saying Atrayu didn't take the pictures, because I knew Atrayu wasn't there. Atrayu has not been in the same state even. I believe it was like a family member, like maybe a sister or her. There you go. Ivy's sister took the photo. But that was before the delivery. So the baby passed away before he was already gone. No, he was not there for the miscarriage at the hospital. Nope. And he didn't come home for it either. yeah, I'm not outing her. Like, I'm not going to put any of that stuff out there. I'm just this part is the only thing I'm sharing. And then obviously, you know, Ivy will share her stuff, but I don't want to go sharing any screenshots that has been sent by that mutual friend. Yeah, Ivy knows. Because the info has come from the mutual friend that's friends with Ivy. And I just don't know. I just think Ivy maybe doesn't know how to address it right now, or maybe there's like some, you know, it's like a tough situation because they've got children together as well. And I'm sure she wants to blast his ass, but I'm sure there's, you know, there's still a lot of things that they'd have to work out. Okay, so recap is, sorry if you've heard it like a million times. No, because if I blur out the info and I show the actual screenshots, you'll be able to see where it came from. But I promise you it will come. Like, we're all going to see it. You just have to take my word for now, and then we'll all see it. Yeah. But he was not there. So, okay, so Ivy, he went away on the 1st of January. This is the quick recap. Went away on the 1st of January to go and work for his parents. He was meant to be getting paid and coming back occasionally to see them. I think he was meant to be there a month max. Okay, and then he was meant to come back, obviously to say goodbye to Gray. He didn't come back, and then Ivy was worried about the baby. She went into the hospital, got checked. The baby had no heartbeat. She rang him. He didn't come back. He just said he wasn't coming back because this is Atrayu. He said he wasn't coming back because it was too much to deal with, like with Gray and the baby and blah, blah, blah. She was like, he didn't say goodbye to Gray. No. That's fucked. And then, obviously they had, like, she was really sick, like hemorrhage, had surgery and everything, and he did not come back. He did not reply to her for 4 days while she was in the hospital, text messages. 4 fucking days. No reply. She could have died. Gray went away. He didn't even, like, bother to go home to say goodbye to Gray or, like, you know, contact Gray in any way for this, like, just did not speak at all, and would, like, turn his phone off for, like, days and then say, oh, but the battery went flat. Like, what the fuck? And then he went and bought, there was a receipt found, yeah, Little Dick Energy, there was a receipt found where he had bought shoes for another woman, but they were kids' shoes, okay? So he's obviously been, and that woman had done a Facebook post saying something like, I'll ask if I can share that one because it was a screenshot of the Facebook, like if I crop it out. But basically this girl was like, does anyone know where I can get these shoes or something like that? And she, like, Ivy wrote underneath there saying, my husband bought you a pair, lol, or something like that. What if that's his kid? I mean, that's interesting. It's a theory, but I don't know. But this girl follows Ivy. Like, she fucking knows. She knows. If some other woman, like, if some guy that was married to a woman I followed was like, oh, hey, I'll buy you this, I'll buy you that, I'd be like, fuck off. Like, there is no way. Oops, I just said it again. Sorry. You have to understand, in Australia, we use that term a lot. Oh, my God. Can someone update the people joining? But yeah, so anyway, she goes back to this other part. This is the part that pissed me off. She goes back. He ends up, he's like loving on her, doesn't try to sleep with her or anything like that, but is like, I love you, like, let's, you know, extend, and they have these plans to extend the house, and they would move back there and sell the house that they have now, and this, that, and whatever. And then he was like, okay, and they organised a beach stay or something. They're meant to have, like, I think this is right, they're meant to have a, I don't know how to do that. Do you know how to do that, Abby? Please help me. Because last time I tried to be tricky on this, I invited like 50 people to join the live. So that's bad. Yes, I think we should. Everyone, I would go and spam trash emojis. Do it, Jade. I don't fucking care. Like, I'm not telling anyone to hold back on that motherfucker. He left around January. Yeah, 1st of January he left, so it was right after. But anyway, so he's like, I love you, like, we'll make these plans, like, we'll move the house, this, that, and whatever. Everything's fine. He gives her a kiss. They're meant to go on a date night that night. This is what I think. That night was the date night, and then they were supposed to go on a beach stay for 2 nights, like a mini getaway together for 2 nights. And I know. Mini getaway for 2 nights. So she's at Atrayu's parents, I think, and she's getting ready, like putting makeup on and everything. And he turns his phone off and does not come back. So they're meant to go at like 6 p.m. And he turns his fucking phone off so that she can't see where he is and doesn't come back to the house. What a shithole. Yeah. What a shithole, though. Could you, like, why would you say all that stuff? He ghosted his own wife again. So not only when she's, like, almost dying in the hospital, like, she was hemorrhaging, like, really, really bad, guys. Like, surgery, needs surgery. Could have died. And he does that. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. Like, I understand some people won't believe it till they say proof, but, like, the people that have followed my page for a long time know that I would not say this shit unless, like, there's no way I would go live just for views and be like, oh, hey, like, how do you stand your own wife up on a date? I don't know. Like, I think most people that follow me know, like, that I don't bullshit with stuff like this. And there's no way I would come out and say this stuff, because everyone knows that I really like Ivy and I respect her. Like, she's probably one of my favourite Insta mums. Well, she would be. I know, right? Yeah, I will. I definitely will post it. He wasn't at the hospital at all. He did not go to the hospital. Like, he has not been back to South Dakota since the 1st of January. He left, went there on the 1st of January. He has not been back. Like, Ivy has had to say goodbye to their son, have him cremated, pick out all that stuff, like, do it all on her own while she's trying to heal and she's very unwell. And then she's gone up there to see him and he's done that. But then the worst part is he doesn't turn his phone back on, right? Does not turn his phone back on. So where was he when she was waiting for his parents? No idea. Just did not come back. Just didn't come back. Like, she had her makeup on, ready to go, and he did not fucking come back. Like, that's disgusting. Like, what a coward. What a fucking coward. If you can't come back and face your wife and say, well, you know, one, I don't want to be with you, or, you know, I think what his thing is, he's obviously seeing this other person. Maybe not that girl. Maybe he's seeing more than one girl. Like, he's, you know, he's obviously sly. Do you all remember the theory that Brookson was his bio dad? Everyone was like, no, he wouldn't cheat on her. I still think it could be a possibility. No, I definitely don't think, well, I mean, that doesn't make any sense because, like, with what's happening with the bio dad right now, there wouldn't be any adoption issues if that was the case. Because that's where the adoption issues are coming with Brookson. Yeah, so then she's like, well, fuck this. Like, obviously she's going to fly home. Like, why would you stay if your husband's fucking you? Like, what? Like, I just don't, it's so gutless. Like, they've booked this holiday together. Like, why would you sit there, tell her all this stuff, and obviously had no intentions of going home, leaves at work at 4 a.m. or whatever, gives her a kiss, and then obviously has spoken to his side piece in the meantime, was like, oh, no, you know. And I think maybe he can't make up his mind, and that's why he's, like, just hanging her along, you know what I mean? But, yeah. But then, yeah, it doesn't come back, and then she's like, well, I need to get home. Text him, he just ignores her. Ignores her, and then finally she's like, you know, I'm on the phone to them. Please, I need to get home, because it's like a 3-hour drive to the airport, I think, or, like, it's a long... Yes, there is there is proof of this girl that he's been buying the stuff for. Like, it had, like, the receipt has her name and address and everything on it. And then this girl follows Ivy, and the Facebook post that I seen is definitely that girl. Like, it has her full name, says that she lives there, so it matches up with the address and everything. Yeah. Did you really? What has he brought other than baby shoes? I feel like I'm missing something there. I mean, yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's weird enough. Like, who buys a woman, baby shoes? But the thing is, like, what man deletes all of his inboxes to that woman unless there's something fucking weird in it? Would you? Like, if there was nothing behind it, would you delete all your messages? because that doesn't make any sense either. And if there was nothing behind it, why would that girl immediately delete her comment? I mean, let's be real here. Like let's really think about this. Yeah. Yeah, I'll post the live later, just not the screenshot yet. What age child were these shoes for? I don't know. Lots may go back. But can I just say as well, there is a lot of evidence of him cheating in the past. Lots of it. Which I'm sure is going to come to light. So this is not his first rodeo. Like, let's not act like, I'm talking like there is lots of stuff that he has gotten onto in the past that she's forgiven him for. But I'm sure when it does come out, like when she hits, when I say I don't know, I don't know, just because I don't know what I even say. I'm like, where is this fucking hoe? Oh, man. Like, he's denying it, obviously. But it's going to come out. Like, eventually it's going to come out. I don't think he wants his parents to know, honestly. So, in the one, this girl writes, anyone know where I may be able to find cleats for grey? This is not the same grey. Before tomorrow, I need a size 11. And then Ivy's comment says, or my husband bought some for him. No, it's okay. I don't really know all the answers. Like, I'd have to ask a lot of it. But fucking weird. Weird. Like, you can't tell me, like, even if I didn't know the rest of the stuff, like, of what's happened, like, in the past. Think about it. You go through receipts and you find your husband has bought another woman's child's shoes and they haven't told you about it. It's kind of weird, right? That is weird. Like, there's no way. You know, my husband would probably say to me, hey, you know, this girl's having trouble buying shoes. Should we buy some shoes? You know, he would say, hey, this happened today. I bought this woman's kid some shoes. Like, he wouldn't keep it from me. But I don't think he'd actually do it anyway. Okay, I just got a thing saying he admitted to talking to her. I'm sure a divorce is coming. I'm just reading the comments, sorry. Just such a bizarre thing to buy out of nowhere and not mention it. Yeah, me too. Like, and you don't, like, where is the conversation where it's like, hey, you know, I can help you out. I can buy you some shoes, you know, for your kid or whatever. Would those messages not still be in his inbox? Why would they be deleted unless there was, like, send nudes for, you know, shoes? Like, there's got to be something there. Yes. So someone who is friends with Ivy, I'm also friends with. And, like, obviously, I'm sure there is a lot I don't know as well, okay? Because, like, I'm sure there's other stuff that I don't know. But I still can't believe that. I still cannot believe, you know, she gets, like, why would you set your wife up like that and tell her all that stuff? Like, it is one thing to be like, no, don't come, like, you know, we're done or whatever. But to keep pretending like everything is okay and then even, like, give her a kiss on the mouth and be like, oh, bye, I'll see you tonight, love you, like, love you guys so much, and then fucking not show up and turn your phone off. A giant thumb shape meme. I know. Like, I know, obviously she's going to address it at some point. But how fucked is this? So I know I'd be pissed if my friend was probably. I feel like there has to be more to the story or he's having an actual mental breakdown. I think that there's definitely, I think there's another person that he's seeing there. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, if you look at it all of it put together, like, I know bits and pieces you could be like, okay, well, he didn't come home, he could be having mental breakdown, this is happening, could be mental breakdown. But, like, do you not reply for 4 days to your wife because you're having a mental breakdown, but you go out clubbing on your own? Well, obviously, Ivy's friends told me a couple of things. I mean, I'm sure there's lots of stuff we don't know. There'd be heaps that we don't know yet. And I'm sure it'll come out. I think he's not getting the same success from Ivy like in the past. I mean, if Ivy keeps forgiving shit, it's easier to just forgive when it's hidden and the friend wants to expose to keep Ivy from being sucked back into a toxic cycle, then maybe this is what's best. You know, I do agree with that because that is a lot of the time why people get away with stuff like this, because they don't, you know, like you don't want to tell people because, I mean, it's going to be, I feel like she's going to be mad and like maybe a little bit embarrassed. I feel like it definitely needs to come out because, like, I don't know, like, if it wasn't to come out and say she did take him back, like, I feel like the behaviour was always going to continue. I just feel like it's never going to end because, like, you know, this stuff's happened in the past and obviously she has forgiven him, but there's a difference between when you find, like, I've got friends that I talk to all the time that have gone through the same thing. They find, like, Snapchat nudes on their husband's phones or this and that, and because it's not actual physical cheating, there is like that grey line. Like, you know it's cheating, like, you know that it's cheating, but then there's that line where you won't forgive them and there's that line where you will forgive them. And I feel like he hasn't been caught crossing that line exactly. You know what I mean? Like, obviously he's doing the wrong thing. We know he's doing the wrong thing because he's the shit that, you know, like, if he's sending or receiving any types of nudes or messages or deleting messages, we know something's going on. But unless you have that proof, it's really hard to, like, fucking wait, like, just slap yourself and be like, no. Like, you know, and a lot of people will stay in these relationships until their husband does it because they do get the chance to do it. Like, when they get the chance to do it, what makes you think they're not going to take that chance? You know what I mean? Like, I understand it's one thing to be sending nudes back and forth to someone, but at the end of the day, you're not sending nudes back and forth to someone because it's like porn, you know? Like, a lot of people accept porn and they're like, well, it's just porn. It's just a naked girl. It's just an image. They're not interacting with them. But then, you know, they go to the next level and they might be sending nudes back and forth to someone, okay? And, you know, at the end of the day, like, maybe they're not sleeping with them, but if it was just about seeing nudes, wouldn't they just go and watch porn? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's always that next step until, and can you, like, if they've already cheated like a million times, like, in their mind, like, if they're messaging these things, if a woman comes up to them and goes, let's go fuck, what do you think they're going to say? Are they going to be like, nah, I'm married, like, I can't do that. Like, I can send nudes and I can do this and that, but I can't do that. Like, that is the worst part. Like, you don't know how far they're going to go, if that makes sense. And I don't want to upset anyone on this live. Like, if you've been through that, I think all of us have been through that in one relationship or the other, or another, or the other, or maybe all of them. Who knows? I don't know. But, you know, I just feel like when you accept that, they're like, oh, okay, how far can I push this line? Like, every time that you allow them to do that, they think they've gotten away with it, they will just keep pushing that line. I don't see her leaving even if he's full on having sex with someone else. She's, like, loyal as hell. I think she'd probably forgive him. I generally think if Matt and Crystal didn't air out their shit, they'd keep gaslighting each other and themselves and never leave. Oh, yeah. Yeah. If they had stayed together, if they hadn't aired out their shit, they would have stayed together for sure. Because that's the only reason. It was, like, proving to everyone that it was as bad as what it was. Maybe she doesn't want to leave him because she's afraid he'll move states away and try to take Elle. He's already gone. Like, he's not coming back. Like, he's staying there. Like, he's not going back. I don't think he's even going back to pack clothes or anything. But I doubt that after what he's done, they're going to think he's stable enough to keep Elle. I'm sure, like, I don't know how it works at the courts, but I'm sure they would take into account, like, a man that doesn't come back to hand his child over to their tribe. Like, if you're not back for that, like, what makes, like, how are is he going to prove that he's a good parent? Since January 1st, so he missed Gray going back to to the bio parents, or the bio peoples, whoever, I don't know. No, he didn't say goodbye to Gray. Yeah. He didn't say goodbye to Gray. Can't share receipts yet, but I'm sure they'll be uploaded, and when, I'm sure Ivy will upload the same ones I've seen. I don't know. I don't know if she will. Like, maybe she won't. I don't know. I'm not sure what's happening. Maybe she's just waiting for the right time. She needs to get her ducks in a row. Okay, fast recap. Again, Ivy and Atrayu went to stay with his parents as of the 1st of January. He was taking time off work so that he could go and make some extra money with them and do some hunting and stuff. He left and went there on the 1st of January. He was supposed to, like, come back and visit and stuff. I think he had to go for a month. And then he didn't come back and was, like, barely texting her and stuff. Like, but this didn't happen until after she lost the baby. So I think they were okay. She lost the baby. He did not come back for the baby's birth. Like, he stayed there. He did not come home for the baby's birth. And he had 2 days to be able to make his way back, apparently. So I thought he didn't have time to get back. It's quite a drive. But apparently there was 2 days between when she found out and when she had to give birth. She, like, hemorrhaged. She was really sick. She had to have surgery. And still, he didn't come back. So then she has found out... like, she went up there to... so then he said he wasn't going to come back, that he wanted to move there, and said the only... they could be together if he moved up there or something, if she moved there, wherever it is. And so she had tried to make arrangements for that and got approval from the other child's dad to be able to move. And then she ended up getting a flight to see him. And they were meant to have and they hung out and everything. He told her he loved her. He hung out with her and Elle. They planned a beach trip for 2 days, and they were going on a date night that night. He gave her a kiss that morning, said he'd be back because she was up there seeing him. And then he turned his phone off and never came back to the house. Like, did not come back. So then she went and got a motel or something, I think. And then she had to try and get home, and he wouldn't answer the calls or anything. And in the end, she ended up messaging him and said, like, I need to get a thing back. And then when he finally replied, he was like, Mum can drive you to the airport. See, he was that gutless, he wouldn't even drive her back to the airport. So he wasn't there. Sorry, guys. Honestly, I think that this was being planned beforehand. Like, I feel like him going to stay with his parents for a month was like, it's a ruse. Oh, and then, so I found this out through a friend of Ivy's. I think she's a friend of Ivy's or a friend of Ivy's. I don't know. I feel like Ivy is like, she's grown so much and she's probably just weighing up whether it's worth posting about or it's not worth posting about. Like, I'm sure when she's ready, she will. But, like, I don't know. Yeah. I don't think she will either because she didn't with her past relationships. She's made statements since it's out on now. Maybe that may be it. I don't think she'll post because she's hoping he comes back. I think it's past that point now. I don't believe that he'll be coming back. I don't know. I really feel like maybe she needs to expose everything that did happen. Maybe. I don't see her airing that shit, especially because it's embarrassing. So, Jess, it's Atrayu and Ivy. And I don't even know if they're actually officially broken up. I think if she posts anything, it will be a we aren't together but co-parenting type of thing, though we know that's a lie. Has he been cheating on her? We think so. So what happened was there was like a receipt in the emails where he had bought something for this girl from Texas, and it was a pair of shoes for her kid, which is really strange. But then there's no like correspondence like in messages to each other. So like, you know, was he just, there's obviously messages because the dude's not psychic. Like he's not just gonna, you know. Who sent the emails? No, so that, like, you know, when you buy something from Amazon and then you get that, like you get the receipt sent via email. That's what is in the emails, and like the girl's name and address and stuff like that. Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, her friend is the one that said it. So the person that just signed on, we're talking about Ivy and Atrayu. What did he buy her? So he bought her kids, her son, a pair of shoes. Which is weird, right? Like, if your husband bought someone else's kid a pair of shoes and didn't tell you about it, like, I know it's probably like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. But you think, like, you'd mention it, or you'd think there'd be some sort of, like, correspondence between them, you know? Well, I know she did reply. The girl had written a post saying, but this girl is not from where he is, I don't think. Like, it's in Texas. Sorry. Like, there's a lot more to it, but we just have to wait for her to address it first. And I'm sure she will. Like, I am sure that she's going to address it. There's no way. Like, you would not let your husband get away with this stuff and not want to bring him down a notch. Because he is, like, denying, you know, doing anything wrong. And we all know that's not the case. I don't know. Well, I don't know. I mean, I think there's a fair few people here, like, going with the theory that maybe he, like, it's his kid, but I don't know. Like, I feel like it's a bit of a reach, because they're in, to try with Courtney now. No one's that crazy. Speaking of her, have you seen her? She's like, because she cannot get a single person to watch her lives on her private page, she goes live on the other one, because she's like, oh, I need to get a message to Hale and he's not responding. How can I upset him? Like, this morning she was talking about how he's an alcoholic and he crowdfunding to go drinking. And it's like, no, we're just saying cheers, Hale, you know, good luck on your new endeavour. We know you won't need it because you're out of that bad situation. All but she's lost 2 babies in 3 months. Now she's being cheated on. Yeah, so he's in Alabama and this chick's in she lives in Texas. That's all I can say. Like, there is like a lot to it, but this is all I've got permission to share, though. Is there a reason why I got blocked from the other page? I got a notification I was tagged, then blocked. Don't know. Are you followed by Courtney by any chance? Because that might be it. I think it's far-fetched. Yep. Someone fill Jess in.